The morning she sped her shiny Tesla through my Vermont ranch gate, she thought her HO rules made her untouchable, until steel, concrete, and truth stopped her cold. But what she didn't know was, that crash was only the beginning of my revenge. I'll never forget the sound. Metal snapping, wood splintering, and headlights flooding my front yard like a crime scene on my own land in Vermont. Karen's Tesla roared through my ranch gate again, dust rising like smoke over the gravel driveway, while my dog Duke barked in rage beside me. I shouted her name, but she didn't stop. She honked instead, smirking, and yelled something about community access before speeding toward the main road. I stared at my ruined gate, shaking with anger. That was the third time this month she'd destroyed it, claiming her HOA rights allowed it. But my property wasn't part of her HO, never was. I bought this ranch years before her Lakeside Pines development even existed on my eastern border. Before we go on, please, where are you watching from and what time is it right now? I want to see how many families, parents, and neighbors are feeling this story across the country tonight. Your comment helps this message reach more people who've faced unfair HOA rules too. That night, as I swept broken boards aside, I swore I'd end her games for good. This time, legally, painfully, and in a way she'd never forget. My son Evan whispered, "Dad, you gonna rebuild it again?" I looked at him and said, "No, son. This time, we're building something she won't drive through." Lightning cracked across the sky. I stood under the storm, heart pounding, plans forming faster than the thunder rolled. That night, I drew the first sketch of my trap in the dirt: steel reinforcements, hidden supports, and pressure locks no vehicle could break. I smiled bitterly. "You want to play the games, Karen?" I whispered. "Then welcome to mine." It began 2 years earlier, when Karen's HA claimed they inherited an old dirt road that ran along my ranch's northern fence, bordering their subdivision. I'd owned this ranch for 25 years, paid taxes on every acre, yet suddenly they wanted to use my gate as their shortcut to Route 89. Karen, the self-appointed HOA president, came in her cream blazer and clipboard, calling it a community easement. I called it what it was: trespassing. She stood by my mailbox, chin up like a soldier. "It's shared property, Mr. Hanlon. You'll comply or face legal action." Her words dripped arrogance. I laughed then. "Lady, this gate was here before your entire development. I've got deeds older than your HOA charter." She didn't flinch, just smirked. Weeks later, I started finding HOA notices taped to my fence posts, fines for obstruction, unauthorized gate color, even dust pollution from ranch traffic. When I ignored them, she started escalating. Trash tossed over my fence. Mail missing. Delivery trucks accidentally rerouted through my drive. Then came the day she drove straight through my wooden gate like it was paper. She waved from her window, yelling, "Community access, remember?" The sheriff told me it was a civil matter. I knew then the system wouldn't save me, I'd have to save myself. That night, I opened a new folder on my computer and titled it Project Karen. I called up an old friend, Mason Doyle, a structural engineer from Pennsylvania who once helped me reinforce my barn after a flood. "Mason," I said, "I need something strong, something she can't drive through without losing everything she owns." He laughed. "What are we building?" I told him, "A gate that could withstand a tank, yet look harmless enough to lure her in." His silence said he understood. Within a week, Mason arrived with 2 other experts, Eli from Pittsburgh, a concrete specialist, and Rosa, a civil engineer with a sly grin. We walked the perimeter, blueprints in hand, pretending to fix a fence while Karen spied from her SUV across the field with binoculars. "Let her watch," Mason whispered. "She won't guess half of what we're doing." Beneath our boots, we marked spots for steel anchors and seismic locks. At night, we worked under floodlights, pouring concrete mixed with reinforced rebar rods. Each pour sealed my revenge deeper into the ground. We disguised sensors under decorative stones, linked to pressure locks that triggered when a car exceeded 20 miles per hour. When finished, it looked simple, white wooden rails and a rustic swing latch, but beneath, it was $1 million of pure defiance. As I looked at the completed gate, I felt a calm fury. Karen had no idea what she was driving toward. By spring, Karen grew bolder. She started bringing HOA board members to my fence line, pointing, laughing, and taking pictures like it was some field trip. I overheard her telling them, "He's obsessed. Probably lonely since his wife left. Men like that crumble when faced with real authority." I clenched my fists but didn't react. Mason warned me, "Don't let her see anger. Let her see silence. That's when traps work best." She sent me a letter stamped with HOA letterhead. "Final warning, remove all obstructions or HOA will exercise easement rights." That was her fatal mistake, putting it in writing. Rosa scanned it and smirked. "This is fraud. Her HOA doesn't legally touch this property." We sent quiet copies to the county assessor, the zoning board, and 2 local journalists. Still, we said nothing to her. Let her arrogance build. One afternoon, I caught her Tesla creeping along the road again, her sunglasses glinting, clipboard on her lap like a trophy. I waved politely. She didn't wave back. She rolled her window down and yelled, "We'll drive through whenever we want, Hanlon." I smiled and shouted, "Then I'll see you soon, Karen." Her smirk faltered for the first time. Behind her, Duke growled low. He could smell the storm coming, and so could I. The night before it happened, the air felt thick with electricity. The pines whispered like they knew something was about to change forever. I walked the fence line with Mason, testing every latch, every embedded sensor, every steel column hidden beneath the soil. Everything was perfect. "Tomorrow she'll come," I said quietly. "She always does after issuing threats." Mason nodded. "And when she does, you'll have everything you need." We had cameras installed, invisible infrared ones tied directly to my laptop. Evidence, that's what this was about as much as revenge. Rosa sent final documents verifying property lines, notarized and sealed. When she crosses that line tomorrow, she's not just trespassing, she's confessing. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on my porch, coffee in hand, listening to the frogs croak near the pond and waiting for dawn. At 3 a.m., my son texted, "Dad, you okay?" I replied, "Yes, son. Just making sure tomorrow goes how it should." By sunrise, the mist rolled low over the fields. My gate gleamed in the pale gold light, beautiful, strong, and silent. I whispered, "Let her come." Then I hit record on my security system. The trap was set. At exactly 8:17 a.m., her Tesla appeared, gleaming silver, its electric hum slicing through the morning stillness like a knife. She accelerated down the gravel road, ignoring my private property sign, her tires spitting stones. She was angry, probably because I hadn't bowed. She slammed into the gate full speed. There was a metallic shriek, a crack, then silence. The entire vehicle jerked upward like it hit a concrete wall. Smoke poured from her hood. Airbags exploded. I ran forward, not in panic, but in purpose. Cameras rolling, every angle covered. "Karen!" I yelled. "You okay?" She was dazed, airbags deflated around her face like wilted balloons. Her Tesla's front was crumpled like paper, axle bent, bumper embedded into my unyielding steel gate that hadn't even shifted an inch. Deputy Lang arrived 15 minutes later. He whistled low. "That's quite a gate you got there, Mr. Hanlon." I just nodded, arms crossed. Karen screamed from her window, "He sabotaged it. It's illegal." The deputy squinted. "Ma'am, you drove through a private barrier. On record." Her rage turned to fear as he took photos. That was the first time I saw doubt in her eyes, and I knew the real storm was about to begin. Within days, local news picked it up. Headline: HOA President crashes Tesla into private ranch gate, claims easement rights. Karen's confidence shattered on camera. Her perfect hair, her staged smile, gone. Reporters asked. Can you show proof of this easement? She couldn't. My footage went viral. The county clerk confirmed it publicly. The HOA had zero claim on my land. It was all fabricated paperwork. Turns out, Karen had been using fake easement maps for years, charging her neighbors maintenance fees that went straight into her personal account. The sheriff called it embezzlement by HOA authority. Mason laughed when he saw the report. Told you this would go beyond fences. Her own board turned against her. They froze her assets, demanded audits, and one by one, the homeowners she ruled began suing. Meanwhile, I sat quietly on my porch with Duke, watching the sunset glow off my unbroken gate. My lawyer said, you're entitled to restitution for damages, around $3 million, conservatively. I nodded but said nothing. Sometimes revenge doesn't need shouting. It just needs patience. And mine had just paid off. The courtroom smelled like old paper and fear. Karen sat across from me, pale, hands trembling, eyes darting toward her lawyer every few seconds. My attorney presented everything: video, blueprints, land records, emails where she admitted to pressuring the ranch owner to comply. The judge frowned. Mrs. Fielding, did you personally alter these HOA maps? She stammered. It was a misunderstanding, Your Honor. He raised an eyebrow. $1 million misunderstanding? The room went silent. I kept my eyes on her. I didn't gloat. I didn't